What's good, YouTube? It's your boy DJ LiftOFF with the JP Way, and you don't want to miss this flight. Now in today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick review of the Rane 4. And when I tell you this thing is a beast, I have not had this much fun with the DJ controller right out of the box in a very long time. Of course, the most prominent feature is going to be the stems features. With the stem split, we have the acapella and the instrumental buttons. Man, I'm telling you, as far as doing like really quick live mashups when you want to drop an instrumental, bring back the acapella, or if you like using the stem split, which we'll go over in just a moment, this thing is definitely a game changer. Now it does start at $16.99 as far as price, so that's definitely on the higher tier of pricing, but I'm telling you, it is very well worth it, okay? Especially if you're a DJ that likes to do a lot of creative mixing on the fly. So with that said, let's hop right into it. Now, one of the most important things to me is always going to be the jog wheel and the crossfader on a controller. So the first thing I did as soon as I took this out of the box, I started playing around with the jog wheels. And the very first thing I noticed, I said, hey, this might be a little bit too resistant for me as far as when I'm going back and forth. However, like 10 minutes into actually using it and loading up Serato, this feels great. The responsiveness is on point. The preciseness when you're scratching and then actually dropping this jog wheel is super duper precise. The weight feels great. Like I said in the beginning, I thought it might have been a little bit too weighted or a little bit too resistant. However, as I started using it more and more with my left and right hand, it actually feels really good. Also with this jog wheel, you can see this beautiful display here. Definitely a simple display. Love the color in it, just simple and great. Now, right after the jog wheels, I like to check out the crossfader as I think it's of equal importance, especially as a scratch DJ. And I personally think they really nailed this crossfader right on the head. It is super light. You can just see as I'm pushing this back and forth, it's super light. On the front, we have our crossfader contour. So of course, as a scratch DJ, we're gonna be turning that all the way to the right. But in general, it's super light, super responsive. I've had no problems whatsoever scratching. Now, moving on from the crossfader, let's talk about what makes this controller so special. And the thing I probably love the most is going to be the stem split up here at the top right, as well as the stems buttons, the acapella and instrumental. So what this does is it separates the acapella and the instrumental on decks 2 and 4. So if I go ahead and play this track here and I just raise up 2, we can only hear the acapella. Now if I raise up 4, we can hear the instrumental. So if I raise up both, you have the full song. So that's definitely something you can use if you want to use that stem split and be a little bit more versatile with your mixing. Me personally, I like to actually leave that disabled, and I like to use the acapella and instrumental button, which essentially does the same exact thing. So now that I'm on deck 2, if I just have the acapella enabled, I can go ahead and bring this up and we just have the acapella. Now if I click instrumental, it immediately takes out that acapella and gives me the instrumental. This is definitely something that I'm going to enjoy using a whole lot. And let me give you a quick demonstration of how I use it.
The last thing we want to do.
Used to think about forever. Now I feel like I can do better. Yeah. Not the same when we together. Yeah. I like the girl I once knew better. Hey. First love, hard time, damn you damaged me. You try, I try, we both felt everything. Thought that I could wait for you. Maybe I'm not made for you. And the pain gon' come, but the tears gon' dry. Thought I'd wait for you, but baby not this.
Knowing me, and I'm too about it. And the dirt that they do on my name turn to soil, and I grew about it. Time for y'all to figure out what y'all gonna do.
So there's a quick example of me using the acapella and instrumental stems buttons on both decks, and it just really shows the flexibility and the versatility you can have when you're trying to activate or deactivate just the acapella or just the instrumental. Now let's go ahead and talk about the stems button. Once you have that activated, you get this beautiful display here, which lets you know what's activated and what's not activated. Sometimes when I was using stems before, it was hard to remember which one of these was actually the instrumental echo or the vocal echo. Now you can clearly just see those right here. Also, you have the vocal melody, bass, drums at the top. As soon as you disable that, you can see that it also disables the little lit up background on the actual display as well. So that's definitely a game changer. Now the rest of the buttons and features surrounding this display are pretty much what you're going to have on every controller, or at least most controllers. You have your sampler, you have your roll, you have your hot cue. Then if you hold shift, you also have your pitch play, your save loops, your scratch bank, as well as your slicer. Here we have each deck, and we have different channel effects that we can actually enable. So we have our filter roll, noise, and flanger. So if I go ahead and play this track, you can obviously use each of these channel effects as you like. Noise and flanger. Right below that, we have all of our hardware effects. So if you look at this button here, you see HW, that's for hardware, and then you see SW for software. So if you go ahead and click that one time, you can see now that you have software effects, and if you click it again, you go back to your hardware effects. If you also look here to the right, we have this little knob here where you can toggle back and forth to the BPMs, and we can also change the beat value here for the different effects that we have here. Now, me personally, I like using the echo and the echo out. I'm not a huge fan of the other effects. However, I could definitely see other people using them. So let me give you a quick rundown of what those sound like. Here's the recycler. We have the scale here, the riser, matrix, and then of course the echo out and the echo. I'm pretty sure you know what those would sound like. Now, as you just saw, to enable or trigger these effects, you can just flip this little knob up. You can see the green light actually blinks, and that means the effect will stay on. Or you can just pull it down or push it down like this and hold it, and then whenever you're ready for the effect to stop being in use, you just let go just like that. Now, directly in the center, we have this depth as well. If we want a longer tail, let's say on an echo, we would turn this depth up. If we wanted the echo to be a little bit shorter, we could just turn this depth down, okay? Now at the top, we have our standard EQs. We have our low, mid, high, as well as our level, our volume, as well at the top. You also have a toggle between USB-A or USB-B, so you can connect two computers to this particular controller at the same time. We also have our USB and line switch as well. We have our microphone section beautifully laid out over here towards the left. You can enable that, turn that on over here, just with this little toggle here. And we also have a little bit of echo there as well. Now on the front of the Rane 4, we see a section for our microphone number 2. So you can connect two different microphones to this particular controller. And we have our level, we have our high, and we have our low frequencies that you can control. Towards the middle, we have our standard channel 3, channel 1, channel 2, and channel 4 throughs, or our left and rights. And we also have that crossfader contour right there as well. Then all the way to the right, we have our headphone section, where of course we have our level and we have our mix between the main or the Q. And we also have a split Q as well. And then lastly, we have our 3.5 millimeter as well as our 1/4 inch options. Now at the very top of the controller, we have our beat jumps, which definitely comes in handy if you like to use them. If I go ahead and press on the right, it's gonna jump up just 1 bar. And I can go back 1 bar as well. We have this knob for the length. So if I actually just go back 2 clicks, now you can see it's gonna jump up just a little bit shorter, or a lot shorter actually, between that bar. So you can definitely go ahead and set that however you like with the length as well. Then of course we have our slip. And then if we hold shift, we have vinyl mode. Then we have our sensor, and we have, if you hold shift, we have our reverse at the top as well. To quickly touch on the faders, they are a little bit more resistant than I like. I would say they're decently smooth. They kind of feel similar to the Rane 1. However, I do wish they were a little bit more fluid. However, they're definitely good enough to get the job done. The pads are all really responsive and they feel great. You can actually feel them click in a little bit, whereas some controllers, they don't have that click in feeling. You kind of just feel yourself press them, but you can definitely feel this click, which I actually like. Again, this is a great controller for really creative DJs who really want to utilize the stems button. They've made it extremely easy to use with the dedicated stems button, as well as the stem split and the acapella and instrumental buttons on the sides as well. I really love this controller. I haven't used it for that long, so I'll definitely be doing an updated review as far as how much I like it in a couple of weeks. But with that said, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button as well as hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know the next time that I upload a video. And without further ado, I will catch y'all on the next flight.